What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Married to the Game, your source for all things Utah sports. Today we're here on the BYU show. Got a lot of news about BYU. Specifically, BYU basketball is on a absolute tear.
The BYU basketball to you?
Don't do the. We're not Ohio State fans over here. BYU currently 15-1, 3-0 in the Big 12, coming off of a big win, 89-84 over rival Utah. Kimball, what did you think about that game?
Hey, props to Utah, man. They put up a fight. That is probably the best team of Utah you're gonna see all year at home against BYU. Fired up and ready to go. So, Utah, they impressed me. Unfortunately for Utah, I think that is their peak this year, was that game. But, it was a close game. It was stressful. Only, for 30 seconds did BYU have a big lead. The rest of the time, it was super close and tight. But, I'm just glad BYU survived. But, I tip my hat to Utah. They put up a good fight, but BYU, we got it done. DeBonsa and Saunders showed
big games.
Showed why they're the big guys.
I was gonna say big game. You said big game, but I was like, well, big game definitely in their hearts meant a lot, and so especially for Richie Sanders finally getting that victory in the Huntsman Center.
Yeah, and honestly, both teams shot the ball pretty well. 50% from the field for BYU, 46 for Utah. 3-pointers, neither team shot the ball well. 23% for BYU, 27 for Utah.
No, sir.
Free throws, Utah shot well, 86%. BYU did not shoot great, 66%. BYU, however, did out-rebound Utah 41-33 and only barely led the turnover margin 11-9. And so I think that's the kinds of statistics that can lead us to the conclusion of what we saw, where BYU was able to stave off a comeback attempt from Utah. Zach, as a Utah fan, what are your thoughts on this Utah team after that game?
I kind of thought it was going to be this way, where it's going to be two teams just dogging it out. It always is this. I think we mentioned before that every time Utah and BYU play, it's always a close game, always a good one. Even if BYU is predicted by a lot, Utah makes it close. My fine gentleman over here predicted a blowout, 20-plus, and ended up being a 5-point game, which I thought was going to be a little bit more realistic. So it's the great thing you find with a rivalry like this. It's always close. It's always fun to watch.
And speaking of that, if you watched our Utah State episode last week, we talked about a certain bet that was made where Kimball said if BYU did not cover the point spread, he would wear the Utah hat. And so where is the Utah hat, Zach? Let's get that out here.
My good dear friend, I have a very nice thing for you to...
I can't do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, screenshot that right now and save it on your phones.
That is going in the group chat anytime
moment.
Utah does anything good.
While I'm wearing the hat, though, let me say AJ DeBonsa moves up in the statistical category. 9 straight games of 20 or more points, becoming the second highest player to ever do that. So he's got a long ways to go. I think he's got to hit 19 to take over first place.
That's right, Trae Young
Leads
the Big 12 all time.
Hey, 9 in a row for him. He barely got it off of one free throw, at the very end.
Yeah.
So it was close. But hey,
Big
shout out AJ
performance, man.
DeBonsa and Utah.
BYU has TCU tonight.
Still got the win, all right?
TCU 11-5, 1-2 in the Big 12. That's tonight, late game, 9 p.m. Mountain Time on ESPN2. Should be a challenge for BYU, but nothing they can't handle. And then Saturday, they go on the road at number 15, Texas Tech. 12-4, 2-1 in the Big 12. That's Saturday at 6 p.m. And as of last checking, the TV network has not been determined, although I assume that'll probably be a game on the big ESPN.
The big ESPN.
And so BYU's got quite the slate coming up here.
Yeah, this will be their biggest game probably since Clemson or UConn.
I would say so, yeah.
It was about in the beginning of the season. They've had some time to kind of cruise through some other teams, get their rhythm. But I think, this will be the probably highest skill-wise team that they've played since then.
Yeah, exactly. And we can't look past TCU though. I mean, again, 11-5. They're a very formidable opponent. However, the game is in Provo, and TCU just hasn't quite been. They've been probably the most bipolar team in college basketball this year. And the fact that they took Michigan down to the wire, lost that game by 4. They beat Florida by 4. They beat Wisconsin, who just knocked off Michigan by 11. However, they also did lose to New Orleans to start the season by 4 points. And so they're kind of an interesting team. It seems like they're starting to figure it out more. Had a 4-point loss to Kansas, and then only lost number 1 Arizona by about 13 points. So they didn't get absolutely throttled, just beat handily. Kimball, for you tonight, going into this TCU-BYU game, what do you expect to happen there?
I'm actually not worried about this game, at all. I think BYU, I don't think they'll beat them by 40 like they did Arizona State, but if I expect a double-digit win, the Utah game was a bit of a scare, and I think they'll be glad to be home. And ultimately, this is their easiest game in starting with Utah, this last week, going up until they finish off. I guess even Kansas just beat Iowa State, so that's
killed them.
That's going to be a tough game too. So
yeah.
BYU's in this stretch right now. It's going to be really difficult, but really fun to watch. This game is actually the easiest by far of those games, and so I'm actually not worried about this one at all. It's Texas Tech, and then Utah again, and then Arizona, and then Kansas that I'm a little worried about.
Yeah.
But give me BYU by double digits in this one for sure. I think BYU is just going to roll the Horned Frogs.
Yeah, and what about you, Zach? What do you think is going to happen in this TCU-BYU game tonight?
I think pretty similar to what Kimball said. I think this is probably one of the less stressful games that in Utah. I mean, obviously you can't look past them, but I think they can take care of business. Like you said, TCU's been all over the place. Good games, good losses, close losses. But I think they should be able to handle them good. I think looking forward to that Texas Tech in Lubbock game will probably definitely be a step up from the comfort of Marriott Center and with the Rock.
Let's say that Texas Tech game, I mean, BYU, outside of UConn, Wisconsin's really the only other, good team that BYU's played.
Well, I mean, Clemson's solid this year.
That's true. But, BYU's starting to lose respect. I don't understand how you drop 2 spots in the rankings.
It's because you only beat Utah by 5. That's why you dropped 2 spots.
But Michigan drops 2 spots.
3. Oh wait, no.
After losing to an unranked team that BYU beat by 28, and so I just don't understand how you can win a game by 40 and then win a game on the road and drop. That just does not make sense to me.
Style points. They took a page out of.
I mean, listen.
I think this Texas Tech
what
game
we're
is a big
saying, and I don't know
game.
how much this matters, but it is just something to point out. Is obviously if you put BYU and Michigan together today in a game, Michigan would probably beat them.
I mean, you can't say that. Wisconsin just beat them, and BYU killed Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean, Big Ten's crazy though, man. I think Yaxel and DeBoer would run
BYU
all over
put
BYU,
98
man.
points on Wisconsin.
Listen, I don't think BYU's bad.
98.
I don't think they're bad. I mean, it's kind of the way it draws sometimes. You got Gonzaga, you got Vanderbilt right behind you, 2 teams that are really good. And I mean, Vanderbilt's undefeated right now still.
Mm-hmm.
They're 16-0.
Vanderbilt's good.
And so
I don't know why Gonzaga's passing when they lost to Michigan by 40. BYU's one loss comes to UConn by, was it 2 or 3 points?
Who almost lost last night to Seton Hall, by the way. But Seton Hall's good.
That's what I'm saying. BYU, I didn't think we'd see disrespect in the rankings in basketball, but I mean, here we go. So Texas Tech would be a great way to get BYU back on that Final Four.
At the end of the day, though, it doesn't matter in basketball as much as it does football. Because football, you're starting to play with, do we even make the playoff or not? Basketball, it's just hey, I mean, BYU's, they were going to be a 3 seed if the season ended today regardless because they were at that 9 spot. They dropped to 11, so they're still in the same seed range. They still have generally the same path, a 14, a 6, a 2, So, I mean...
That is the nice thing with basketball and March Madness, that it's a lot more, I guess, flexibility with your rankings and where you'll end up.
It's not just life or death. It's just a pride thing, It's
pride. I know. It's a
pride in my
thing.
heart.
As far as I go, I'm not worried about the TCU game either. Like Kimball said, they're at home. They're at the the Marriott Center, 13.5-point favorite. So I expect BYU to win that game by at least 8 or 9 points, probably more. Texas Tech is also a weird team. I mean, they already have 4 losses on the season, so I don't really know why they're ranked as high as number 15. I know they almost lost to Wyoming, who's a very solid Mountain West team. They lost to Illinois, who's really good. They lost to Arkansas, who's good, but also just got blown out by Auburn.
They beat Duke, though. That's kind
They
of
did beat Duke. That is their
Their pride.
what
and
they can
joy.
tip their hat on. I think BYU walks into Lubbock and gets a win, though, on Saturday. I think that first game for BYU that I really expect to just, give them a bunch of problems is that Arizona game on the 26th. I think that Arizona,
that's gonna be a
Kansas, Oklahoma State, Houston stretch is going to be really tough for them. And so, I think BYU wins out this week, though. Reacting to a little bit of BYU football transfer news, if you guys would like. They have had quite the week replenishing their defense after the departure of Jack Kelly to the NFL draft. Former Mountain Ridge High School star Cade Uluave just transferred in from Cal, and he was
the number 1 linebacker.
Arguably,
transfer,
he was Cal's
so
best player last season.
He was the
Big
best
pickup.
linebacker in the portal. So it was a good pickup.
Jake Clifton, Kansas State, just transferred in. Paki Finau from Washington, O-lineman, Zach Iamauchi from Stanford, and then everybody's favorite, who I don't expect to make an impact at all, Junior Sia from Utah State. And I'm not saying that because he transferred
Offensive
from Utah
tackle.
State. I mean,
Brutal.
guys, who led the team in false stars this year? Who led the team in
I was
holding?
gonna say, if you're a BYU fan and you're excited about that, sure, be excited, but our O line was horrendous this last year. So
Not
I honestly don't really expect.
I don't think he's
him
going to
starting.
play. I mean, they're bringing back most of their O-line anyway.
Yeah, it's
so
he's going to be a solid backup, but that's.
I don't
probably
really expect
it.
to see any of these guys that they brought in on the O-line start this year, except maybe Finau because he started at Washington, I think. But
Yeah.
I mean, Uluave is on the defensive side of the ball, and so he's gonna get playing time for sure.
I said it last week, but I'll say it again. BYU is going to be better than they were this last year in football, and so these players are just going to help us in that. I'm excited for this Texas Tech game on Saturday. In the heart of basketball season, give me BYU for that game. I think BYU is going to roll them pretty good.
What about you, Zach?
for the
Texas Tech. You already made the pick there?
I did not. I don't know, because they did have a close game with Colorado.
Tech did?
Yeah.
Oh.
They just barely.
Colorado's
beat them by 2
not
points.
terrible this year, though. I mean, they're
No.
they could cause some problems in the Big 12.
So I will give that to the ruckus of the Rockies with being in Colorado.
That's valid. That's always something you
Um,
have to consider when going from Texas to
elevation.
LA.
It's
Although,
mile
what
high.
is the elevation of Lubbock? Because I know some parts of I mean, it's 3,000 feet up there. It's not much.
So, but
Smaller
it
than,
sure ain't
you
close
know.
to 5,000 mile high-ish almost.
Yeah.
That's
not at all.
true, but I mean,
I think
Yeah.
that will be a much harder contest for them. I would love to see an absolute shootout from these two teams, but
Might get one.
it's going to be a pretty close 50-50 matchup. I think I might go ahead and give Tech a little advantage with the home court on this one. But
Really?
Close game.
No way.
Close game.
Well, you're wrong.
Great show out. We'll see. We'll see this one again.
Nah, you're just wrong.
yeah, I gotta agree with Kimball on this one. Although it seems like normally.
Oh, this guy picked Boise State to beat Utah State.
Okay, and you
but-
picked BYU to cover. He picked Utah Tech to beat UVU. We all had bad moments last
We all
week.
suck.
It's just you're the one that ended up in the Utah hat. So sorry. That's the way life goes sometimes. But if your life is not going great right now and you're a fan of BYU and just need some cheer, what should they do, Kimball? I think there's a button they need to press on their YouTube interface.
Subscribe.
It says subscribe.
And then you get to know when we post.
You get to know when we post before anybody else, but not really because, well, I mean, follow me on Instagram, then, you know.
And hey, next week is the BYU-Utah game, round 2, and so if you want to get a preview of that, you don't want to miss it.
Don't want to miss it. Can Utah go down and beat them in the Marriott Center? Highly unlikely, but it could happen. We've seen crazier things.
Just
It is
don't
college
listen to these
basketball
guys
after all.
if you're going to make any sports betting. Don't listen. Don't take their word.
Again, took Utah Tech over UVU. We'll get to that later. You just try to throw us in as these guys that make horrible picks. I mean, we do make horrible picks, but he's right there with us. Anyway, if you're married to the game, you like BYU, subscribe, click the bell so you get notified when we drop videos, and comment your favorite time that AJ DeBonta left you with your jaw on the floor. We'll see you guys in the next episode.